Good morning, boys. How you doing? I believe you missed round one. Okay. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a problem with Zoom, and so I've re-recorded round two for you to watch. Okay. So welcome. Hope you're doing well on Friday. First of all, just to say, boys, we are so proud of you. You have done absolutely amazing this week. We cannot be prouder of all the effort and all the achievement, everything that you've done to really embrace remote learning. So first of all, well done from us. We are really, really pleased with you. Okay. I was thinking about themes for assembly today, and I thought about what could I do that would be actually quite meaningful and mean something to you. And I thought, positive mindset. That would be a good one to think about. What are some of the positives? And so I thought about how could I show you something to think about positive mindsets. So hopefully you can see here I've got a jug and I've got some coloured water. And as I start to fill up this jug, you can start to think about how full this jug is getting. And if I get all the way up to about what we say, about halfway, is that about halfway? I think it is. There's about halfway in our jug. And I'll show you a little bit closer. There we go. You can see around about half full. Okay. Now, there are different types of people. And in different situations, you will look at this, and some people will look at this and go, well, actually, this is half empty. Half of this maybe enormous drink has gone. That's a bit disappointing. I've only got half left. That would be having a bit of a negative mindset, looking at that most of it is gone and that's disappointing. Other people, on the other hand, might look at this and go, well, actually, I've still got half left. That's actually really positive. I've enjoyed some already, I've enjoyed half already, and I've still got half to go. That would be a much more positive mindset when thinking about it. And we can be like this in lots of different situations. In different times we can look at things and we can think of the negatives before we think about the positives. But we want to try and think about the positives before we look at the negatives. Because sometimes it's useful to look at negatives, but to put the positives at the forefront. Let me tell you a quick story. Once there was a teacher and he set a test for his boys. All the boys came in the room and they sat down at their desks, and there was a sheet of paper in front of them, turned over. The teacher said in his stern voice, when you're ready, boys, try your best, keep writing, use all of the time, off you go. The boys turned over their tests and off they went. But on the other side of the piece of paper, there was just one thing, a tiny black dot, right in the middle of the page. And the boys looked at it and they didn't know, but they remember the words of the teacher saying, try your best, use all of the time and keep writing. So that's what they did. They started writing. They wrote and they wrote and they wrote and they wrote. And the end of the test came, and the teacher collected in the papers, and he had a good look through with the class still there. And he said, boys, well done, you have completed the test. But you have all written about the wrong thing. And the boys scratched their head and thought about this. He said, boys, you've all written about the tiny black dot in the middle of the page. And all the boys think, well, that's surely what we should have written about. And the teacher said, boys, you've missed a point. You've focused on the one little black dark spot on the page, and you failed to realise all the white open space around it. There is so much more white open space, yet you've chosen to focus on the little black dot. I suppose this could be a little bit similar to this. That in our lives, actually, we have a huge amount of white spaces. Things that we could be thankful for. Our families, our friends, our homes, all sorts of different things. Our hobbies, sports, all the things that we enjoy. Hopefully your school. All those wonderful things. But at times, we forget those and we focus on the little black dots. And they seem to grow and grow and grow and get bigger. And we focus on those instead of all the wonderful things that we can be thankful for. So I want us to think about what are some of the white things? What are some of the open white spaces that you have that you might take for granted, possibly? Also, I want to think that in this time of remote learning, we can look at this differently. We can look at the negatives, some of the struggles that we're having, or we can look at the positives, the actual huge success story that a lot of this remote learning is, that you guys are engaging, You are enjoying Zoom, you are seeing your friends, you are learning, you are being taught by excited teachers. What are some of the real positives in this situation? And not focusing on some of the tiny little negatives along the way. Also, more globally, in these difficult times, I love Thursday nights when people go out onto the streets at 8 o'clock and they clap for all of our key workers, they clap for the NHS staff. That's fantastic, and that's the white bits. That shows how much that actually we've probably lost a bit of that, thinking about how important those people are in our lives. And actually at the moment we see and we are celebrating how important they are. So as you go through this week, the rest of this week, and as you go through the weekend, I want you to really think about what are some of the white things in your lives. What are some of those white spaces that you can be really thankful for? And also making sure that, yes, it's okay to look at the negatives, but to have them in the right amount, and to look at them carefully, and look at them as the small things that they are, and don't let them overcome. Super. Boys, that's going to be the end of the assembly. The only thing for me to say is that have a great weekend, enjoy Friday, work hard, have a great weekend, enjoy some downtime and enjoy the weather. And also just keep an eye out for videos on Parkside ICT, little tips from Mr. Gain and Mr. Marler and some of the other staff that will help you with your remote learning. But that's it from me. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care. Mr. Procter out.